Hello there, new traders, new potential traders. I'm super excited about this specific tier because it's going to show so much growth on your part. It's going to be mind blowing. And you're here for a reason. You're here because you've heard about trading, you see people who trade, you've seen opportunities out there that may or may not have worked for you. And this is the place to be because I'm going to teach you basics, but I'm also going to teach you how to trade the way that I trade. And the way I've been explaining it to people is that, I have my experience and I want to give people that Disney Fast Pass. I want to show them exactly how I've been making the profit that I have in the past 2 years and kind of bypass all that growth and all that up and down. And not that you don't need to experience it, and you will, but I just want to get you there quicker. I want you to have those aha moments. I want to be there for you, not to hold your hand, but to answer questions that you have and make you feel secure and confident in what you're doing. So the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to label this part one. I'm going to go over some terminology, and I feel like there's going to be more that I come up with. Well, there definitely will be more. And then I'll do a part two or part three. And if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me on social media or here, even on the platform. There's a messaging system. I don't know what it looks like for you, but I know that I have messaged some of you collectively as a group, or I can individually message you. And I feel like you have that capability to do the same to me. So we'll see. If not, reach out on social media. But I want to go over terminology because when you're trading, there's a whole bunch of new terms that you may have heard of. Hold on one second. There we go. I had my phone and I had something that was on replay next to me. It was just like flashing in my peripheral. So, um, there's a whole bunch of terminology, and some terms you might have heard before, but you don't exactly know what that means in regard to Forex trading. Some things you may not have heard of at all, and you need that explanation because at the end of the day, you're going to be trading with your own money and you need to understand things. So it's like if you were a doctor or a medical doctor, and somebody said there's something wrong with your femur. Well, you may have heard the term femur, but where exactly is that? It's the leg, right? But where is it? Is it the front of the back? Like, you need to know definite things. And that's the big bone in your thigh, by the way. I think it's one of the biggest bones in the body. Or I wrote some things down, or like arrhythmia, like what you've heard that term, maybe, it's when your heart has an abnormal heartbeat. They determine because you're not feeling well, they go in and they're like, geez, your heart's like going slow, going fast, like it's not operating properly. So again, there's some terms that you might have heard. And, there's certainly terms like when you're a lawyer or when you're an electrical engineer or an economist. There's things that you haven't heard before, so you need to understand them. So what I'm doing is I'm making a list because I'm like a paper girl, and I'm gonna like finish it and type it out. And if you want that list, I can get it to you, but I'm gonna go over these terms. And again, I'm not gonna make this video long because who wants to sit in front of an hour-long video? I want to make this short. I want to do like 10 or 12 terms and keep it moving. So that's what I'm going to do. And I highly recommend, if you have not watched the free videos with my stories or explaining Forex or any of the espresso, because now you're on my third, well, if you count the free, excuse me, if you count the free stuff, this is, let's not count the free stuff. This is my second tier. So this is for my newbies. But I want you to go back and kind of look at some of the espresso and you'll kind of get a feel for maybe what I'm talking about. There's a few of them. And if it gets too overwhelming, then skip it. But I feel like some of you here have touched and dipped your toe into trading before, and you're ready to get back into it or try it again. Sorry, I have allergies or something, and I just have this dry cough. So Forex, again, I went over it. I think in my free videos. It's just exchanging one currency for another, and you're going to make money when one goes up and one goes down. So you can make money when the price of something goes up. If you're in a buy or a long position, we call it a long position. It's just when you're in a buy for a trade. And you can also make money when the price is dropping, or when you're in a short position or a sell. So there's all those different all those different terms, short or sell and long and buy. Just, so keep those in mind. And I will also write that out for you. But so you can trade any, I'm so sorry, any currency pairs. There are 3 different types of pairs. There's major pairs, major currencies, like currencies that you've heard of, like the euro or the pound. And I have a list of those, and I'm going to get you that list, the 7 major Forex pairs. I'm not going to go over them now. But then there's also minor pairs. So the major pairs typically have USD in them, trading the dollar against something. The minor pairs are trading bigger pairs, bigger currencies that don't have the US dollar. So maybe the Canadian dollar against the Australian dollar, or the Swiss against the Canadian dollar. So those are more different types of pairs, but they're still pretty prevalent. And then there's exotic pairs, the lira, the Turkish lira, or things like that. So pairs that you might not have thought to trade. I actually like to trade some of those. So, but you will find them on your phone, and I'm going to get into that too. We're going to be switching back to my phone back and forth so I can show you some things. Maybe now actually is a good time to do that for the currency pair. So let me pause this and bring that up for you. So I brought up my phone. This is my, right here is what we call our, okay, you're in the way. Our MT4 Trader. This is your broker, and I'll go over that in a minute. So it's an app on your phone, like anything else, just an app on your phone. So I'm going to open this up. Hold on. Open this up, and you can see all of these currency pairs. Some of them are major pairs, like the USD CAD is a major pair. Anything with USD, Euro USD, is going to be considered a major pair. Okay. Anything else, let's just change that color. Anything else is going to be considered a minor pair. Okay. A minor pair. A minor pair. A minor pair. And I don't have a lot on my phone right now to show you because I don't, I'm trading indices, which I'll go over exactly what that means. So let's go back. And if you go to this little plus sign up at the top next to the edit little pencil, if you click on that, it shows, excuse me, all the things that you can trade. Okay. The major pairs right here, the Forex well, actually, these aren't the major pairs. These are the minor pairs, and there's quite a few of them. And it gives you a description of what it is. NZD, Euro NZD, the New Zealand dollar, GBP, the Great British Pound, GBP chef, we call it the Swiss franc, the Swiss dollar. So there's a whole bunch of those. Also, the major pairs are all those USD pairs, like I talked about. And then there are the exotic ones. So some of these that I have traded in the past, where are they? I had some favorites. Of the Mexican peso, the USD MXN. I've traded that in the past. Not the PLN. Oh, the ruble. I have traded that in the past. USD RUB. The krona. I've traded that in the past. And I've definitely, out of all those, I've traded the Turkish lira for sure. And again, you just have to understand the movement of those pairs, and then you're going to be fine. So you can also trade cryptocurrency. There's a whole list. So cryptocurrency involves much more than Bitcoin. There's something like, I don't know, like 21,000 types, or I have to look that up. I want to say it's thousands of cryptocurrency. Maybe it's like 12,000 different types of cryptocurrency. So I have traded DOT Polkadot before. I have traded Litecoin, which you probably have heard of. Solana I have traded. There's one more in here. Bitcoin is not listed here because it's in my list of things that I trade already. You can see it's BTC USD, the second from the bottom above US 30, which is the Dow Jones, which is what I specifically trade. So you can see your broker that you choose will offer different things. You can trade metals. I trade gold, XAU USD, and silver, which is not listed here, which means it's already in my list. That's XAG USD. Let me just check. I know that it's in here somewhere. There we go. It's right at the bottom. And it shows you, we'll talk about the prices after. You can trade energy, natural gas, oil, UK oil. You can trade, well, you don't really, well, you can trade the indices. These are all different countries' indices, which just means like the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ or the SPX 500, which I'm sure that you've heard of because of the news. Like I had heard of those before, I just didn't know what they were. And you can trade any of those, but each country has those. I've traded the Japan 225, I've traded the France 40, I've definitely traded the UK 100 and the German 40, the DAX. It's also called GER 40. But I have also traded that in the past. And it's all just preference, like what you want to trade. You can trade, oh, I already did this. Oops, sorry. So I don't trade any of these minis. I can just touch on that. It's just a smaller percentage that you're trading, so you're making a lot less. Might seem safer, but once you get going, you're going to trade bigger numbers. Like I don't see the point. I don't know many people who trade minis, but the cool thing is that you can also trade regular stocks. I've traded Amazon on here, a little bit of Apple. I don't really trade them on here. I actually hold some of these in my individual portfolio. I've traded Tesla last May when Tesla was going up and down. EU shares, I'm not sure. European shares, I guess. Not sure. Forex Pro Majors. Not sure. Anything with a little acronym on it, I'm not trading. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, anything with a dot, anything, I'm not trading. So there's lots of things that you can trade. But what you really need to start off with is those currency pairs, right? Pegging the US dollar against the euro, or the US dollar against the yen, things like that. What else did I want to talk about? Well, I have this here. Excuse me so much. Gosh. Um, I can tell you who I'm using for a broker. So you're going to need a broker, right? And that's pretty easy. Hold on one second. So what I wanted to say is that for a broker, you need a broker. You need a middleman. Like, just if you are wanting to buy a house, you just can't buy and sell a house on your own. You need a broker, a real estate broker, or uh something like that. I forgot my other example. Um yeah, you need someone who has that licensure, who can protect you, who knows the ins and outs of whatever the nature is of what you're doing, even in the stock market. So you have TD Ameritrade or Fidelity, something like that. Those are licensed brokers. So with Forex, you need a licensed broker. And I can tell you who I use. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've only used two separate ones. I want to say for more than 2 years, I just used one single broker. And the past 2 years, I've used a different broker. And I've done that because you can see these prices are moving. If it's red, it means like the price is dropping, and it will flash to blue. This one right here. Sorry, I forgot I was not on my. I want to clear that. So this one right here, you can see is flashing from red to blue. At any given moment, the price is changing. We're in a live market right now. The Asian market just opened. The US market is closed. And it's a global thing, right? So markets are open really essentially 24/7, except for some bank holidays or maybe New Year's Day. There's always a market that's going to be open. So you can see these prices are changing. They're changing from red to blue at any given time. But before I leave the screen and go back to my computer, I just wanted to talk about something called the ask price and the bid price. And you're going to want to understand that because, hold on one second. You're going to want to understand that because that falls into something called a spread, which means the broker is going to get a little cut before they put you into the trade. So any trade that you go into, and I think I touched on this before, it's going to typically go immediately negative, just a little bit, because the broker is going to get his cut and then take you on your way. So the bid and ask price, the difference is the bid refers to the highest price that a buyer will pay for whatever the currency pair is. And the ask price is for a sell for the lowest price that you can get into that trade. So that difference is the spread, and that's where the broker is going to take his little bit of a cut. So you can see on my screen that I will just go to US 30 because that's the one that resonates with me the most, because that's what I trade. Ah, my gosh. I'm gonna go to US 30. I'm sorry about that. And sorry about the upcoming sirens that are happening. Okay, US 30. Here we go. This is the Dow Jones, the top 30 largest companies in the US on the stock exchange. So you can see the difference in the price. This one ends in a 41. This one ends in a 43. The difference is 2, correct? You would agree that the difference between those prices is 2. So you can see the spread is 200 points, but what that really it also equates to is 2 pips. So you can see that there's a 2 pip spread, and that's going to be important for later when you're calculating on when you want to get into a trade and when you want to get out of a trade. You want to be aware of the spread. And you can also see, excuse me, Bitcoin has a huge, Bitcoin has a tremendous spread. Okay, so the difference between this is before, also before the decimal point is 52. So you're also going to be wanting to be aware of that spread difference. And you'll see as you play around with it in demo. And the wonderful thing about Forex trading is that you can demo trade for free and an account and practice and practice and practice. I practiced for 2.5 months when I first started Forex trading before I started live trading. So I wanted to cover those things before I leave my phone screen. And again, it's an MT4 account. Where are we? It's an MT4 account right here. Right here. Man, there's a lot of maneuvering to do here. Sorry about that. And you can just download that app on your phone. And there are going to be videos on how to do that. If I didn't do it already, I don't think I did because I wasn't training new traders, but I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. And it's really that simple, but let's go back to the computer because now I want to talk about a few more things before I end this terminology video. So here we are on a chart, and I know it looks like a lot. Let me take everything off so maybe it doesn't look as intimidating. Okay, look at this. So here's a chart. You might have seen charts like this on the news. So we're looking at candlesticks. Okay, and the candlesticks are what determine it's the data. It's the data collected and it tells us which way the market is moving. Let me just go to a currency pair. Let's go to the euro and the dollar. Okay, so this shows the relationship between the euro, which is a currency in all the European countries, and the US dollar. And all I want to show you is like 2 quick things here. 3 things on the screen. And yep, 3 things, and then we're going to be done. So candlesticks, the big chunky body that you're looking at. And you see they're all different sizes, and this just determines how much the price moved during a given time period. But you also see these wicks, right? This looks just like, trying to find one that, oh, so this one right here, this one right here. Let me just get my little arrow. This one right here really kind of looks like, oh my God, went behind it. Really looks like a candle. It's got a flat bottom, but it has this wick up at the top. Okay. A little arrow, cooperate. So it has this little wick at the top. So that looks like what you would consider a traditional like candle or birthday candle. But you can see they're all different sizes, which is again determining the price. But that wick really tells us that this is where price moved. Let's go over to this one right here. Either of those really. This is where price moved during that time period, right? But it came all the way up here, but then it came back down. And then a video on my espresso tier, I will tell you the pricing and what all this means when a candle is in this range. Because there's a low price, there's a high price, there's the highest, and then way down here for the wick. And you just want to understand those candle parts. Okay. But that's another video. I think I already did one, but I can also do one on this tier to go over it. But basically, each candle tells you, oh, for when it opened. Well, let's not go there first. So you can pinpoint a time frame. So there are two time frames that I will show you that I trade from: the 1 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame, and the day time frame or the day chart. And all that means, like, you're going to learn something right now. All that means is each one of these candles is an hour, because we're on the hour chart, an hour time period. This is how the candle moved. This is how this candle moved in an hour. This is what it did in 1 hour. Okay. And this is what this one did in the following hour. And you can see, and I'm so sorry, I have 24-hour clock down here. Let's go down to where it's not looking like 24 hours. So you can see, if you look down the bottom here, at 9 o'clock this morning, this candle was populated. This candle was populated. And then at 10 o'clock, a new candle started. At 11 o'clock, a new candle started. Every hour, a new candle starts. And you can see that. And you can see right here, you can put a countdown timer on your screen. And I can show you how to do that. We'll go over like parts of this screen. This is called TradingView. This is a platform that is crucial to use. Again, this one is also free. And I can show you a lot of things that you can do in here, but I'll show you what I use to trade. And then there's videos out there on YouTube, and I can direct you to one that I like that will go over all these tools and explain everything about TradingView. Excuse me. But you can see in this hour, because now the time is 7:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can see there's 43 minutes and 57 seconds left to this hour. And then a new candle will start, will populate, we call it. And you can move around. I happen to have a touch screen. So here's the latest and greatest candle that will run for 43 more minutes. This one right here, 43 more minutes. And then a new candle will start. And you can see where that vertical line kind of dashes over. That's where the next candle will start. But there's also the 4-hour chart that I use to trade. So now each of these candles represents a 4-hour time frame. So every 4 hours, a candle is newly populated. So this was at 1 a.m., 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 o'clock, and this candle just started at 5 p.m. Okay. So you can also switch to the day chart. So this is kind of mind-blowing because each of these candles represents a whole day. What happened to Euro USD on April 21st? This is how the candle moved on April 21st during the whole day. Through a big long wick down, came back up. On April 26th, even a bigger candle, and through a big long wick up. And this is in one of my other videos, but I can show you right now a little snippet of it. So see these white letters? O stands for open. C stands for closed. So what do you think that means? O is when the new candle was populated and it tells you what price it opened at. C is for when that hour or that day shifted again to a new day. I know we're on a bigger time frame. This is the price that the candle closed at. And if I run my cursor over it, my little hand, it shows for each candle. So this one right here, C for closed at $1.10. Let's say we're gonna round that off a little bit. But it opened, O for opened at $1.97. So there was the price difference. Okay, and it went up. It went up. It did from $1.09 to $1.10 essentially, and it went up. It tells you 0.6%. Okay, but it also shows you the high and the low. So the high would be right here, right? And the low would be this little tiny wick down here. So it tells you this candle opened at 109.727, but it went all the way up to 109. It went all the way up to, 110.956. And it also went all the way down this little tiny wick right here. It went all the way down to 109.666 during that day. So you have your open, your closed, your high and your low. And that's just interesting to look back on. We don't specifically use those specific numbers for entering or exiting a trade, but we're watching them because I say it all the time in my strategy videos on my latte tier. This is money. This is trading. The foreign exchange is a $7 trillion a day market for the banks. So this wick is money. We call it money left on the table. Millions of dollars left on the table. They are not going to let that sit there if they haven't come to collect it. And they will come to collect it. They will come to collect this little bit and this. They will come to collect this money. So we're kind of watching trends a little bit. You can see it's going on an uptrend. It did dip down, but it's basically on the euro dollar. I mean, you can see it, right? Now it dipped a little bit, but it's kind of doing what it's doing. Okay, and we'll learn all that. So I went over the time frames, and you can do any specific type of time frame that you want. Okay, anytime. And I just started them because that's the only ones that I want to show that I trade from. And you know, a lot of different traders use different time frames. The ones that work for me, I look at the hour, but I trade off the 4-hour and the day chart. And I think that's really all I wanted to cover in this. So I'm going to type out a little sheet for you. Stop sharing. Okay. I'm going to type this out for you fully with explanations. I started to do it last night, but I didn't finish. And then I will get that to you. If you want it, just request it on whatever platform you can find me on. If you happen to have my text number, that's fine. If you want to reach out to me on Patreon, messaging, excuse me. But I'll have that for you. So there's going to be more terminology for sure, but I just wanted to go over some of the basics, and I can't wait to jump into the next video, and we're going to have you demoing and practicing until you feel comfortable. And then at that point, when I'm done with the basic training here with all the videos that I want to do, then you're going to jump over on my latte tier and learn the way that I'm trading, because we have some good days here. All right, I will talk to you soon and see you on the next video.